After the tragic death of his son in March, Tony has been a shaker and a mover in our recovery community. He's an incredible speaker, he's an advocate for recovery, and he has the most incredible message. So please help me welcome Tony Luke.
Sometimes I get a little emotional, so bear with me, please. There are 4 words that no parent ever wants to hear. And that is, your child has died. On March 27th of 2017, I heard these words. Grief, death, with time, is manageable, barely manageable. Guilt is never manageable, and guilt never gets any easier. So when I heard the news, the first thing you do as a parent is you figure, what did I do wrong to let this happen? Did I enable? Did I not support enough? I come and I speak to parents, and I speak to those in recovery, because the biggest battle that my son fought wasn't so much the monster of addiction, which is a monster, but the stigma associated with addiction crushed him. Addicts fight 2 battles. The battle of the disease of addiction and the stigma of addiction. And don't mistake what I am saying or underplay it. The stigma of addiction is as deadly as addiction itself. My son felt like a loser. He felt weak because everyone around him was telling him, you have 2 children. You have people that love you. What's wrong with you? Why don't you just stop? Oh, I didn't know that was the answer. Just stop. And I was guilty of that, as most people are who are ignorant to what this disease is. Now, I will not stand here and argue with you, is it a disease? It isn't a disease. I believe that it is a disease. And that is my opinion, and that's what I believe. When he died, before he died, the last night I was with him, he said to me, Dad, I'm trying. And I said, we'll get through it. I love my children. I don't want to be this way. I don't. And then the next day I lost him. So don't sit there and tell me that this is a choice. Who chooses that? Not you. Not me, and certainly not him. And weak, a loser, those in recovery are the strongest individuals I have ever met in my entire life. My son would come to any kind of event, and my son Michael would say to him, why are you tired? You slept 12 hours. How could you be tired? He was tired of fighting. Because it takes a lot out of you. A lot. So when he passed, I thought, what can I do? I'll tell you what I know for sure. No one speaks about it. No families talk about it. They're ashamed, they whisper about it. Like it's some horrible, disgusting choice that their loved one makes. So I thought, you know what? The world lives in social media. That's where they live. So I thought, with a group of friends that helped me, we came up with the hashtag brown and white. Why brown and white? Well, those were two of the primary colors of heroin. And what was the goal of brown and white? The goal of brown and white was to ask family members who lost a loved one to post a picture of them on social media. Put a name to that statistic, a face to that statistic, and let the world know they are not losers. They are not weak. They were human beings who lived, loved, struggled, and lost that battle with addiction. And I am not ashamed. I'm not ashamed at all. And something crazy happened. People heard it. We hear it all the time, but they heard it. The most beautiful thing I'd seen was a woman who looked like she was in her 70s, who was standing in front of a phone, I guess an iPhone, where her daughter was explaining to her how to do it. And it made me cry hysterical watching it, because she said, my daughter died 7 years ago, and I was ashamed. I never told people how she passed, but I'm not ashamed anymore. This is her face. This is her name. I loved her and she loved me. So I go and I speak. I'm not a foundation. I don't accept a penny, ever, from anything. All I want to do is get families speaking. Because there's no book. Is there a book? If there's a book, give it to me. Where it says, turn to page 35. My son or daughter is an addict. How do I fix it? It doesn't exist. You know why it doesn't exist? Because no one will speak about it. Families don't talk to each other. So how do you know? I didn't know. I didn't know how to deal with it. Now, I was an addict my entire teenage years. I got lucky. I got out. But I wasn't addicted to opioids or heroin, which is very bad. I mean, my drug of choice then was crystal meth, which is not great. You know, but I'm being honest. I lay it all out. I don't care. There's nothing to hide and nothing to be ashamed of. There's no one in this room, I don't care who you are, no one is perfect. Everyone has made mistakes. So I didn't know what to do. But families are talking now. And I asked anyone watching, I asked anyone listening, I beg you to please go to social media. Use the hashtag brown and white. Post a picture. Because I know we can change, because I'll tell you, recovery is one inch at a time, 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time. But it can only be loved. It can only be won through constant love and support. When is enough enough? Never. Never. 1,000 times you fall, 1,000 times I pick you up. and I know there's a lot of people listening to this going, Tony, sounds great, but enabling, there's a very fine line between support and enabling. And here's all I say. Let me tell you a real quick story. I know I'm eating up too much time. Someone came to me and said, Tony, what am I supposed to do after a speech? My daughter comes in my house, she steals everything. What am I supposed to do? Lock everything up every time she comes over? Well, when they're not here, if I can get my son back tomorrow, I'd lock everything up every single day. Because once they're gone, they're gone. I had someone in recovery come up to me and say, I never saw that. I never saw it from my family's point of view. I never realized what's going on with my own family. Because make no mistake, when you're in recovery, your family's in recovery as well. So I want to leave you with this. I know it's hard. Love and support is the only way we will ever overcome the disease of addiction. One small miracle at a time. God bless you. Please support everyone.
Thank you, Tony.